So as you can see, mechanical part of the workshop, I also make this one is great. This is a super mini. One of the MOSFET has like a burnout goo. And finally, I have the table that I wanted in the shape of a U. What's up, my friends? Welcome back. Yeah, my workshop is still a mess, but I have some new things, as you can see, especially here. So let's just start with another update, weekly update. I hope this will be weekly, so you should know how my workshop is going, how my projects are going, what problems I have, what new ideas, and so on. That being said, let's get started. What's up, my friends? Welcome back. So let's just start with the first update. Okay, one update of the week is that I finally got rid of those shelves for storage. I've told you I didn't like that, it was ugly, and I'm now making my own table. And as you can see, it's huge. It has like 6 meters, and I've already kind of got confirmed that I will get the laser welding machine, which will go right there. But I started adding my 3D printers, and the storage area, I do like it because now it is a lot more organized here below. But I also want to change something on this table here. Let me tell you. So the idea goes like this. This is the table, it's huge. I'll get a vise, I'll get some tools to work here with long materials, with long metal bars and so on. As you can see, I have storage here, but I don't have storage here. I mean, yes, I do have stuff in here, but I don't have the shelves in here because this I will get rid of this. And inside here, I will place my laser cutting machine, which is also big. And then on top of that, I will have my laser welding machine, which is basically like a welder could cut metals like more than 1 centimeter. And once I will get that, I will have it here. On the side, I will have the lathe machine and then a few 3D printers. And then on the wall, I'll place some resin 3D printers because they don't weigh that much. And then I'll have storage area below, some storage area here. But here on the last table, maybe the last two, all the storage area still has some space behind. As you can see, let me just increase the light here. So behind here, we still have like half a meter of unused area. So what I will do, I will push this behind. Then here in the front, I will still have some space and I will make like a movable table so that will open and close with some brackets here. And on top of that, I will have some tools. For example, a grinding wheel, maybe a cutting saw for wood. So all I will have to do is to place it up here on the table and I'll have my machine here. I saw this idea on Instagram. I'll try to place the video here on the screen. And I thought I should also do that because in that way you can use your space very efficiently. So yeah, that's what I'll do at least for these two tables, and maybe the rest I will leave it like that with just storage. Who knows, maybe I'll do it for all the tables. It should be nice, but I don't have that many machines. But who knows in the future. And obviously then I still have this area here which is still untouched. This desktop I will get rid of this. I also have the water here, so here I will have some sort of sink. This I will get rid of this and place them here in the electronics workshop and maybe make some more storage here. I also want to add a wall between the water sink and the rest of the workshop. Who knows? But yeah, this area is still untouched. And this is how the workshop or the entry of the workshop is looking right now. Everything that you see on this side will disappear. Those shelves will disappear, these boxes, everything that you see here, it will be like a clean corridor so I could work. Maybe on this wall have like a open and close board, like a open and close table, who knows, but for now all this corridor will be free so I could move around with big metal bars and will only use this side for storage and for the workshop table. So now that I'll have so much space here in the middle, I could make like those big projects like the electric cart and something that I wouldn't be able to make in my small workshop. And by the way, I've also added a second light here. I don't like the cables, I will have to find some cable management because with the normal electrical tube I don't like that, so maybe screw it to the ceiling, who knows. But I do like that now I have all my lights controlled with Alexa. I have 2 here, I have 3 in the studio and 3 in the workshop, all controlled by separately with an Alexa command. Okay, so that was this first area, which was the storage area, but I still have changes in the electronics workshop. By the way, it's still a mess, but let me show you what I have new. This is a mess. I'm in the middle of 3 projects and also in the middle of reshaping the entire table. Finally, I have the table that I wanted in the shape of a U. Actually, it's the shape of an A, depending how you see it. Anyway, at the beginning, I wanted this shape, but then I decided to place here some shelves and make some storage area. I didn't like that. I took it out and finally made the entire table. So as you can see, I have a lot of table Here will be like the workshop table for small physical workshop. This will be the recording area where I record my project. That's why I'm testing with this vinyl here. And this will be like the electronics area. I'll have my components, my soldering machine, my power supply, and so on. I'll have to repaint the wall because I made some mistakes there in the corners, but I'll add like a cool background, maybe with a plant and some cool lighting. By the way, I do have an LED strip here, but I don't like this light. I mean, I do like these ones on the side, but when I'm recording, if you have a light, even with this diffuse light, since it's exactly on top of it, as you can see, if I record it from above, it glows a lot. So let me just play something. For example, the other day I was recording this walkie-talkie, and as you can see, since it's exactly in the middle, I'm still recording it, and when I pass like this, it shines a lot, and that looks quite ugly. So what I want to do is to maybe add a different diffuser, but also change the angle of this to go towards the wall. In that way, I will have a lot of light here on my table, but not direct light to make it shine when I go over it, as you can see like this. And for the mechanical part of the workshop, I've also made an update and a short video. But anyway, I will explain it once again. I 3D printed these supports with different sizes. And instead of using screws, like for example these two here, which look very ugly, I've added support for all the parts. And slowly I'm adding all the tools that I have. I have here a bunch of tools that I still have to add, and some more tools in the other room. But as you can see with these supports, you can control the angle. Just add a screw, control the angle, and it will fit exactly as you want it. And it could go with a bunch of different tools. I've also 3D printed this support for the files. And then I have some different supports like this, which are, for example, for screwdrivers or round shape objects. And slowly I'm adding that to the wall, and maybe in like a few months I'll have this full of my tools. I still have to buy some pliers because I have this one and this one, which are very old. I would like to have some new ones. But yeah, I'm adding tools each day or each week. Don't have that much time. I've also made some changes below the table. I have a new power line, and I've added that with 6 plugs, and then also here with a bunch of more plugs, because when I'm recording I like to just take it from here and connect it. But I've also had the idea to make holes in the table and add some specially made like click and open plugs. So the idea is to make holes in the table, especially here on this corner, here in the middle, and there, because this will be like the electronics table. And then you can find those click and open plugs. You use it, and then when you don't want it, you click it once again, and it will stay flat with the table. So this, let me explain you what I'll have on this table, which is the electronics table. On the wall, I have the components and other stuff. I want to add my PC, my laptop here on the side, and also, I've already told you that I've changed my screens. I have here some screens that I don't use. One of those still works, and I will add that on the wall, so I could use for schematics and so. And then I will have my microscope, my airflow machine, the power supply. I want to change it. Actually, I've told you that I will make something with some retractable wires, and my soldering machine. Everything here on this table. Everything prepared, and below I'll have my multimeters and so on. So it will be like a very prepared workshop, so I don't have to take it out and then store it each time that I'm recording something. And the third change that I made to my workshop is the studio. But actually this is not a big change, but I'm preparing for a new podcast, so let me show you what I have in the studio side. So this is the area where I edit my videos and work a lot on my designs and my video game and everything that I do for my YouTube channel. But from here, on the other side, I want to prepare everything for a podcast. Maybe invite a friend, I'm talking with a friend, and talk about some thematics that I don't want to tell you yet. It will be like a surprise. So I'm working on the background. I bought like a new LED strip, but this is like a better one. It looks like a neon one. I've added my plaques from YouTube. Also, this one is the one that is projecting the moonlight. Actually, let me just power off the light. Alexa, apaga la luz del estudio. So as you can see, this is how it will be when I'm making live streams. I have the camera there. And I still want to add some stuff. Alexa, enciende la luz del estudio. This will also have like plants. I still have the fridge here, which I want to place it in a space that it would be visible in the live streams, because usually sponsors will want to have a fridge with a sponsor on the fridge. Who knows in the future, but for now it will be here. And also I want to add a table in between. Each one will have a microphone, and then I want to add some plants and some foam for acoustics and so on. So this will be prepared for a podcast. Stay tuned for that. And by the way, I've already bought a carpet For this area I've tried to add this vinyl, but as you can see, in just 3 or 4 weeks it already got damaged from my chair. So I'll buy a proper carpet, add it here, and make this room like very like beautiful and organized, and maybe repaint the walls. And there's still a lot of work to do, but I've started investing money in this to make like a proper podcast studio. Stay tuned for that. And about the walkie-talkie made with ESP project, I've already posted this video on the English channel, so for the Spanish channel, stay tuned because I'm translating it. So I've made some improvements in the design, but I don't have the PCB yet. Anyway, I've got a lot of messages, of comments, and one of the comments was if this can work, not just a one-to-one connection, but like a broadcast. And yes, actually that's how I've made it. So anytime that you press a button, you can select on the menu if you want to select only one channel, specific channel, or to broadcast to all of the ESPs. Now in my case, I only have 2 of them, so the sound from this one will be received at this one. But if I were to have like 3 or 4, if it is on broadcast mode, everyone will hear the same message. And I've also got a lot of comments like, why invest like $20 to $30 into making such a project when you can just go and buy with $20 like some normal walkie-talkies from AliExpress? And man, you don't understand this. This is not just a normal walkie-talkie. This is a walkie-talkie with a microcontroller. Once you have the audio data on your ESP32, you could even send it to a database on the internet using an internet connection, not just a direct connection with another ESP, and maybe play that sound to another ESP in a different part of the world. So it will be like a walkie-talkie using internet. That would be cool. Also, once you have the brain, the microcontroller, you could select when you want to play that sound. That's why I want to use it to make an intercom for my garden, for my house. Anytime that someone will call me at the door, I will be able to accept or not accept the call, talk to the person, and so on. With the normal walkie-talkie, you can do that. And also you can program it to do different stuff, because once you have the brain, the microcontroller here, you can do a lot more stuff than with the normal walkie-talkies. And I also want to include a LoRa module inside here. So maybe use the signal with Wi-Fi to make the connection, but then once the data from one to the other one is paired, maybe use the LoRa to get a lot more range. Now I'm making some tests because I haven't used the LoRa modules that much, but I'm making some tests on how to send the same packages, because the audio files, the audio data, it uses a lot of bytes. And with LoRa, maybe you don't have the same bandwidth as with Wi-Fi. But stay tuned for that because it will be awesome. By the way, when I was welding these tables, the cable from my welding machine started burning out, and I didn't know why. I made a video. I'll try to place that video on the screen so you could see it. I made a post on YouTube asking if someone knows why that could happen, and I've got some answers, but also a bunch of comments were like very rough, like you don't know nothing about electricity, that's normal because blah 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 blah. And I mean, yeah, I do know a lot about electricity. I've been spending my last 10 or 12 years learning about electricity, but even so, I don't know why that happened. I'm guessing that the cable was in poor conditions. I'm thinking that I was placing my machine on top of the cable and got a little bit broken. The wire inside of it was not pure copper, it was like nickel or tinted wire, something like that. It was like of Chinese quality. And all that, maybe if I even touch it with the welder gun, the welder tip, who knows. But it got damaged, and once the wire is damaged, that same amount of current is passing through less and less wire. So now I've changed it, and now it works with a wire from a bridge wire from a car and a charging wire from a car, and it works great because it's like a 1 centimeter thick wire made out of copper, and I have no more problems, and I was able to finish my table. So yeah, place a comment below by watching this video. What do you think it happened and why it got on fire? I have this inverter here, which is not mine. I know that it looks like mine, but this is from my uncle. So he gave me this. Maybe I could fix it. I'm not sure if I can because I've been looking at it for some time. I'm not sure what it happens. Basically, it works. It charges the battery, but it doesn't stop when the batteries are fully charged. Basically, it keeps charging till it reaches like a very high voltage and shut down completely. So if it were a problem from some kind of sensor, I wouldn't get the read on the screen, but it still reads the voltage of the battery. So I'm guessing that there's a part that is getting the power from the solar panels, generating the needed voltage, and then there is some kind of MOSFET or maybe a relay between that and the batteries. So when the batteries are full, maybe that relay or MOSFET is turned off, so they won't charge the battery, but the generating voltage is still working. So maybe that's because that's why it's not working. I'm not finding that because I don't have the schematic. All the components are looking okay, so I'm not sure what the problem could be. So maybe if you have one of these, comment below what the problem could be. So basically this always worked till it stopped working. It's charging the batteries, doesn't stop till it overshoots like very high voltage and shut down completely. Now I did open it more and I did found something that fails. As you can see, let me just make a zoom here. One of the MOSFET has like a burnout goo, and all of the MOSFETs actually have like the PCB a little bit burned, but this one here, the second one, it's quite burned out, even passed to the other side. So this probably is failing, but you see, that doesn't solve the problem because this PCB is the one that goes here, and this one is connected to the solar panel. So if this fails, it doesn't get power from the solar panels, but on the screen we do have that it's getting power. The problem is on these two connectors. These two connectors are going to the battery. So these are the ones that are failing. And as you can see on this PCB, we do have a relay. So if this was the problem, I could just change the relay, but on here, we don't have a relay. So basically the problem is between this circuit that's generating the power that's going to the battery and the battery. Wait a minute, there's an update on the PCB. Let me tell you what I think. As you can see, I took the burned MOSFET out because I've already ordered some other MOSFETs, and actually all these MOSFETs are working, and this one was giving a short circuit between the drain and the source. So obviously this one is burned out. So when I will be getting the new ones, I will be changing that. But I start testing with the multimeter, and what I've seen, this is the negative input of the solar panel. This is the positive input. The negative is directly connected to this entire pad, which is ground, but then the middle pin, I didn't see where it's connected, but it's connected to this pad here. And this pad is exactly the relay that I was talking about. And this relay is connected to this other side, which is connected to the positive input. So basically everything is connected. Now, this pin here, this hole, is connected onto the negative side of the battery. But this other one is not connected to anything. But when the relay is working, then it has a direct connection to this one. So basically that means this one is also connected to the positive of the battery. So basically the PCB that is working with the solar panel has direct connection to the battery. So if something is failing here, it might affect the charging process of the battery. So maybe yes, maybe that is the problem. Just by changing this MOSFET, I could fix the entire board. I thought that from the solar panel is getting here, then it's getting to the boost converter, then it's getting to the battery. But for some reason, I'm not sure why, because I don't have the schematic, there is a direct connection using these two screws directly to the connectors of the battery. So maybe it's monitoring the power input and the output at the same time. Not sure. Obviously, this is an MPPT driver, so it has to monitor the input and the output. But yeah, when I will have the new MOSFET, I'll place it in for the burned one and tell about it. This is a Dyson vacuum cleaner battery. I found it on the garbage. Just wanted to show you what's inside. Let's just see. So we have a huge BMS board. I wasn't able to take the batteries out without breaking this plastic. In a moment I'll just measure the batteries one by one with a multimeter. But as you can see, we have a pack of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 batteries. So that's 7S. I think the BMS works. And I think at least we can salvage the BMS, and if some of the batteries is damaged, you can just change it or maybe just use the BMS for a different project. We have the input here from the charger. We have a button here to turn it on and off when you fit this inside of the vacuum cleaner. Actually now I'm not sure if the BMS work or not, because I found this on the garbage. So why would someone throw this away if all the batteries are working? As you can see, we have 3.8, 3.6, 3.8, 3.6, 3.6, 3.8 has almost 9, and 3.6. So basically we have 25 volts in between, so the batteries are working. If some of the battery gets damaged, usually the voltage drops to 0 or maybe 2 volts or below 2 volts. So yeah, maybe it's the BMS that is damaged, so it doesn't output anymore the power. I mean, you get power here, I think. Yes, you get the 25 volts. So I'm not sure why would anyone throw this away. I will keep it. It's a nice 7S battery. Actually, I found something, because these two pins that I was testing are just for the control. It's connected to this connector here. So obviously these two thin wires are not for high power. The output of the BMS that goes to the vacuum cleaner are these strips here, one here and one here. And when I'm testing here, I get no voltage. Even if I press the button, there is no voltage. So I'm not sure if there is some sort of communication between the BMS module and the vacuum cleaner, or directly the BMS output is damaged because I have 0 volts at the output. So yeah, maybe the BMS is damaged, so I could use just the battery pack but change the BMS, which should cost like $5 maybe on AliExpress. By the way, in a previous update I've told you that I bought some second-hand batteries for only 15 euros, 30 batteries, which is quite nice. They all work, they are tested, you have the milliamps power here. So the guy that sells this, they salvage them from, I don't know, from maybe scooters or who knows, is selling pretty good batteries. So still then I've been gathering a lot of components to get the batteries out. This is from a laptop, this is from an electric scooter. I'm not sure from this is from the hoverboard. So I'll try to salvage all the batteries, test them with my battery tester, and make like a huge pack of batteries to have to work with for my project. So never throw this away, because some of the cells are still working. And guys, to end up this update, I wanted to show you a new PCB that I received. This is for a robot. I'll try to make my own robot dog, like Boston Dynamics, not that advanced, it will be with servos, but this robot will be part of an online course. I want to make another Arduino and ESP course connected to the internet and so on, but this one, it will be from scratch. Now, I want to make like a kit, sell the robot, you receive the parts, the 3D printed parts, the motor. We go through the episodes of the course, you assemble the robot and then you program it. It will be great to learn with your kids, for yourself, doesn't matter your age. So yeah, this PCB just for testing. Once I have the robot assembled, I will make a better PCB and it will be all modular, so you can get your modules separately if you want. And yeah, stay tuned for that. I'm pretty excited to make this online course because it will be awesome, because you learn electronics, you learn how to solder, how to make basic circuits, and then how to program, both in Arduino and ESP32 with internet. So it's basically all my courses from, from my website in just one. Yeah, stay tuned for this PCB. By the way, let's go through some of the parts that I ordered for this project, because anytime that I'm making a new PCB, I make prototypes, I'm testing with a bunch of modules. When it works, I make the final PCB. Let me just show you, I ordered some different ESPs, because let me tell you why. The ESP I'm most used to is this one. I usually make my circuit, I made the Nubix with this ESP. But you see, for this project, since I want you to receive it, and even a kid should be able to solder it, I can't use SMD components and make the entire dev board, so I will use something like this. But this is quite big, as you can see. The robot is not that big. So then I've tried some smaller ESPs. This one is great. This is a super mini. It works great. I'm using this for the ultrasonic cutter project. But you see, the problem with this is that it doesn't have all the outputs. Now the ESP chip is still the same, but the outputs, peripherals, are not there, because in order to make such a small PCB, you have to remove some pins. This is the same, but it's pink. I've also tried this one. This is great, but it still doesn't have enough pins. As you can see, it has like maybe 14 pins. But this one has the same amount of pins as this one, 38 pins, but as you can see, it has double row. I don't mind that, as you can see here. So yeah, this is great, because in this way I can use all the pins, because I have to control like 9 servo motors, each one with a PWM signal. That's why I've chosen this one. It has a USB Type-C input. What's wrong with my focus? Anyway, this is the final PCB that I'll be using. It will go right here. So if you receive this with already with the pin solder, it will be very easy to solder for anyone, because I want this to be kid friendly and anyone friendly. So you don't have to solder SMD components. So if you also want super small project with ESP32 and you want a dev board with all the pins, I think this is the smallest one. Obviously we have smaller than this one, but not with all the pins. I think this is called Live Mini Kit ESP32 from AliExpress, obviously. Now, if this ESP dev module would be combined with this ESP that already has the SMD antenna connector here for one of this one, it will be great. Because that's the bad part of this one. The antenna is very small, this will be inside of a case, so it already has another PCB below. Maybe the signal will be affected, but having an external PCB connector for just a 1 gram antenna, it would be great. So maybe if I would find this on AliExpress exactly like this, but with this one, or maybe I should design it myself. Should I? Yeah, maybe I would. Maybe I will. So guys, I hope that you like this new update about the workshop and some of the projects that I have here, some of the problems that I have here, and what I do each week. I'll try to make, as always, this update weekly if I have time. And yeah, Hope that you have learned something new, because that's the most important part of these videos. Also, if you like to support my channel, the best way to do that and free is just sharing my videos, comment below, give a like, and show my videos to others. Yeah, that will be great. Thank you very much and keep up, you guys.